What's up everyone, Alex Comstock here, bringing you another Whitetail DNA vlog. And today's video is going to be a little bit different. I haven't done any videos here recently in the last few weeks. Turkey season kind of wrapped up, and then I've had a little bit of a break here, just taking kind of a breath before getting really into summer scouting. But I'm going to start rolling videos out here about every week, maybe a couple videos a week here between now and the season, and before you know it, deer season is going to be here. But on today's video, what I'm going to do is I just got my 2019 buck back, so I'm going to hang him up on the wall right here, show them to you in a little more detail, kind of talk about last year's hunt for them, kind of break it down a little bit, and then I'm going to switch gears and kind of talk about my 2020 plans, my goals for this season and stuff like that. That'll kind of be the start of my, now deer hunting videos going into the season and summer, and we got a lot of things we're going to cover this summer, talking about trail cameras, doing some gear reviews, all different types of stuff. So with that, let's just jump right into today's video. All right, so talking about this buck, oh shoot, probably should hang this buck up. There, that's better. All right, so this buck was the one I shot here in Minnesota last year in 2019. The mount ended up turning out really good. I've had the same guy do my last couple deer now, and I think the work is just crazy good. I'll show you here in a second in a little more detail. But anyways, this is the buck I shot late season. It was really, really cold couple days when I was hunting this deer. I'd known about this buck all of last season. He wasn't really at the very top of my hit list in the early fall, going into the middle of fall. But after the way things shook out, my buddy shot one of our target bucks we were after, and then another deer kind of just slipped through my fingers. And then he showed up late season in an area that I'd never hunted before. It's all in the grand scheme of things, it's all relatively close, but it was just this little chunk of woods I'd never hunted. So I was able to slip in, do some scouting. I did a hanging hunt in like negative 20 degrees in early December. Saw him at 60 yards. I had a kind of an inclination that I thought I'd be able to get a shot at him from that stand. So I stayed in the same stand. Next day I was able to shoot him. Made a terrible shot on him, unfortunately, and it was, once again, super cold, I think right around that negative 20. But luckily, because we had gotten so much snow and it was so cold, that kind of took a toll on him, I think. And even though, pretty much I gut shot him, he only went about 40 yards. I was able to back out, come in overnight with some buddies, and we were able to find him in that first bed. So really cool. I'm very excited to have him home. Kind of help frame out this corner of my office here. So still got a little bit of room in the office, but we got a pretty small room here. So I'm able to make it work though. So I'm very excited about that. And now, being today's June 10th, it's time to get into kind of the summer prep for, everything, getting prepared for this 2020 deer season. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about here next. All right, well now I'm on the computer doing some browsing here in Onyx, kind of just trying to figure out some stuff for this year. And just wanted to talk to you about my plans for 2020, kind of what I got going on, maybe some things that can help you in your planning for this season. So right now it's June 10th. The biggest thing here over the next few weeks is for me to really get out and do all my summer prep. I'm getting trail cameras ready. Actually, I think today I'm gonna go through them all. I'm gonna grab all my Exodus cameras, go through the batteries, see which ones I have batteries in, see which ones I don't, format SD cards. I run a lot of cameras, so I want to get them all kind of checked out before I throw them out there. And then that's what I'm gonna be doing over, kind of towards the end of June, the next few weeks into the very first week of July is when I'll be getting cameras out. I'll have cameras out here in Minnesota, in Wisconsin, out in North Dakota, and then down in Nebraska. Down in Nebraska, my cousin Caleb will be kind of running cameras, for us. He'll be kind of keeping an eye on them and whatnot. So I'll have everything spread across 4 states. And then as we get through the summer into late July, I'll take a trip out to North Dakota, do a bunch of glassing, check cameras, stuff like that. And as we get into August, it'll be hanging stands here in Minnesota. I'll be, checking stands that I've left up from last year, checking the straps, stuff like that. So if you have stands that are going to be up from last year, I would definitely recommend checking those. And then before you know it, we're going to be kind of itching our way towards fall. You know, at the end of August, I'll be out in North Dakota again, doing a bunch of glassing, trying to get a beat on a buck for an early season buck, because I like to hunt that first week out in North Dakota. So that's kind of right now. I'll be hunting the first week of season out in North Dakota, and then the second weekend of September is when season will open here in Minnesota and Wisconsin. You know, I'll kind of be spending my time between those two states. Last year, I actually didn't hunt Wisconsin at all, even though I had a Wisconsin tag. And my goal this year is to spend more time in Wisconsin, especially during early October and mid-October, because it seems to be where I hunt in Minnesota, things are really dead during that time of year, and it's different everywhere. So if you have areas where you've kind of realized that it's a little deader during October, maybe try to look for a new area. And so that's kind of what I'm going to do with my buddy Garrett. We actually were scouting a couple weeks ago, maybe last month. We were able to find this really cool, secluded, kind of in the timber pond on public land that I think could be really cool. So we're going to be spending some time there, and then as we get into November, I'll definitely be hunting in Nebraska during the rut, and then it kind of just all depends from there where I fill tags, where I don't fill tags. So at a high level, that's kind of my 2020 plans. As you're planning your season, I'd recommend, you know, depending on how many states you can hunt, if it's just your home state, stuff like that, is, you know, what can you do in the summer? What can you do over the next couple months? Because in the next couple months are going to fly by and fall will be here before you know it. So that's kind of my couple tips and giving you my plans for 2020. Like I said, got a lot of videos coming out here soon. This was just kind of to kick off the summer, you know, I was happy because I was able to get my buck back, obviously. And so kind of just use that, kick off really the summer and getting into the fall here. So I really would appreciate you hitting the subscribe and like button down below. If you would do that, that would be a huge favor to me, and it goes a really long ways. And then before you know it, there'll have more videos coming here in the next few weeks. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you here next time.